There is a moment the universe holds its breath, a moment so still, so deeply quiet, that you begin to wonder whether the miracle you've been waiting for was just a dream. You feel it in the air, a strange stillness, like everything has paused. You wake up each day sensing that something enormous is around the corner, but all you hear is silence. That silence, it's not empty, it's loaded. It's the final heartbeat before the impossible becomes possible. And chosen one, that silence is ending. What's coming will shift your soul. There is something divine about waiting. Even when it hurts, you've been patient. You've cried in silence, prayed in secret, and kept your hope lit like a flame, even when the winds of doubt tried to blow it out. And now, the silence before your miracle is shattering. The stillness wasn't punishment. It was preparation. A sacred pause before a sacred release. This is the part where everything you believed in gets to rise. Your wishes, yes, the ones you whispered when no one was listening, are alive in the fabric of the universe. They have not been ignored. In this video, stay with me until the very end, because there is something your soul needs to hear. And in the comments, leave your warmest, most radiant wishes, and 77, the number of divine alignment, as a sign that you're ready to receive. Now like this video, subscribe to the channel, and let's dive deeper. You were never forgotten. The silence was never neglect. It was the deep breath before destiny, the calm before the glory, the hush before the thunder. When a miracle is about to arrive, everything slows down. It feels like being held in place, but really, it's the moment the universe gathers its forces for something too massive to come through ordinary motion. That delay, it was grace. That pause, it was divine orchestration. Had it come earlier, you might not have been ready. But now you are. The gates are creaking open. Think of it like the sky before a storm. Everything goes still. The winds stop. The birds quiet. Even nature knows when something great is about to erupt. That's been your life lately, hasn't it? The calm that doesn't feel peaceful, but strange. The days that seem uneventful, but under the surface, they've been tectonic, shifting, shaping, aligning. And here's what so many don't understand. The silence before a miracle is loud for the soul, loud with questions, loud with ache, loud with why not yet? But that ache is sacred, because what aches for something greater is proof that it's on its way. Desire is not a weakness, it's a signal, a prelude. And chosen one, your desire is divinely inspired. What you feel in your bones is not illusion, it's intuition. You've survived the quiet. That's already proof of your strength. But now, you're stepping into the sound. Not just any sound, but the sound of divine movement. Doors you forgot you even knocked on are about to swing open. People you were destined to meet are being sent your way. The energy that's been swirling silently around you is gaining velocity, and what's coming will not just be change, it will be transformation. You must understand this. Most people give up in the silence. They think no answer means no miracle. But you've endured. You waited without guarantees. You walked forward without a map. And that's what made you the chosen one. You trusted the process, even when it didn't look like a process at all. You believed in the unseen. You held on when letting go would have been easier. And now the reward for that unshakable spirit is preparing to arrive. This isn't just about getting what you want. It's about becoming who you were meant to be. The silence broke something in you, but it also built something. It carved out a deeper well of strength. It stretched your faith into places most people never reach. It taught you to listen, not just with your ears, but with your entire being. And now, that awareness is your superpower. You feel things others miss. You see signs where others see randomness. You're tuned in to the frequency of miracles. And as the silence fades, your senses will heighten. You'll feel a rising within you, an energy, an activation. That's not coincidence. That's divine confirmation. The universe is responding. The alignment is in motion. What felt delayed is about to feel divinely timed. And all that waiting, it's about to make sense in the most breathtaking way. You didn't lose time. You were being positioned. Every no was a redirection. Every pause was a recalibration. You were being shaped for something so much greater than what you originally asked for. The reason it took so long is because what's arriving is not small. It's not ordinary. It's miraculous. And miracles require silence, stillness, preparation. You don't drop a star into a quiet sky without a moment of breathless anticipation. That's what your life has been. The universe, inhaling before exhaling glory over you. And now, the exhale is beginning. Chosen one, the miracle is not coming. It's arriving. The signs are increasing. The synchronicities are louder. The world around you is starting to shimmer with a kind of magic you can't explain. That's not imagination. That's evidence. The veil is thinning. The silence is breaking. The miracle is emerging. And you're right where you need to be. Stay ready. Stay alert. Keep your heart open. Don't question the sudden shifts, or the unexpected calls, or the people who suddenly appear in your path. These are not accidents. These are alignments. What once was hidden will now be revealed. What once was stalled will now accelerate. What once felt dead will now bloom with impossible life. And all because you didn't walk away when it got quiet. That silence didn't mean nothing was happening. It meant everything was being arranged behind the veil. And now, that veil is being lifted. Your time is not just near, it's now. You are walking into the moment that everything shifts. The world may look the same, but you are not the same. The frequency has changed, the atmosphere has shifted, and your spirit knows it. That internal fire, that growing restlessness, is not anxiety, it's recognition. It's the soul saying, "This is it." You are standing in the doorway of your miracle. You've crossed the line between waiting and becoming. That invisible shift, the one you can't see but you can absolutely feel, is real. It's happening now. The silence has taught you to trust without sight. And now your reward is emerging through the veil. Slowly at first, and then all at once. The same stillness that made you question your worth is now revealing how deeply worthy you are. The miracle was never denied. It was preserved, held in divine timing until your soul was prepared to carry it. There's a reason this silence lingered so long. There's a reason it pressed into every corner of your being. It wasn't to break you, it was to empty you of noise, of fear, of cluttered timelines and shallow beliefs. Because what's about to pour in needed space, sacred space, and now that space is ready, cleared, pure, unshakable. You are a vessel not of desperation, but of preparation. You are no longer simply wishing for the miracle. You are embodying it. You've become the living field where it will take root and bloom. The silence has matured you. It has sharpened your perception. What once rattled you now barely moves you. What once felt like the end now registers as redirection. What once drained you now cannot reach you. That is not just healing, that is transformation. You didn't wait passively, you evolved. And that evolution has not gone unnoticed. There are forces in the unseen, that watched you when you thought no one was watching. They noted your quiet consistency, your decision to keep showing up, your courage to hold on even when the winds were cold and lonely. That kind of strength doesn't echo in the moment. It reverberates across dimensions. And now those dimensions are answering. The call has been heard. The return is in motion. You are not being visited by luck. You are being honored by alignment. Everything is lining up, not by accident, but by design. What you thought were delays were divine pauses. What you labeled as detours were actually sacred shortcuts, taking you through the paths you needed to walk to gain the tools you would later require. Even the silence itself, yes, even that long, hollow, ache-filled silence was part of the code. A sequence, a rhythm. And now, that rhythm is accelerating. You are stepping into synchronicity. Don't try to understand it with your old mind. Don't try to analyze it through the lens of logic. Miracles are not math. They are music. And you, chosen one, have finally become attuned to their melody. You no longer resist the quiet. You recognize it. You don't panic in the pause. You anchor in it. And because of that, the miracle has found its opening. It's entering your life through the very space you once cursed as empty. Every moment of stillness you endured is about to sing. The notes are forming. The tempo is rising. You are not just entering a new chapter. You are becoming the new story. The old narrative is dissolving. The script you once followed has faded. What once defined you can no longer contain you. The silence made sure of that. It stripped away the noise so you could hear your soul. And now that you've heard it, you can't unhear it. That voice within you that said, "Hold on," that was not fantasy. That was truth. That was your spirit speaking to you from the other side of the breakthrough. And now here you are, standing exactly where that voice knew you would arrive. This isn't the end of waiting. This is the beginning of receiving. You are not chasing your miracle. It is coming toward you, rapidly, unstoppably, with a power so vast that no obstacle can withstand it. The silence was the womb. Now comes the birth. Your intuition has already noticed the shift. You've been feeling off, but not in a bad way. Restless, but not anxious. It's because your inner world is calibrating to match the incoming reality. Your body is catching up to your destiny. You're waking up earlier, thinking deeper, letting go faster. That's not coincidence. That's realignment. The miracle is changing you before it arrives, so that when it arrives, it finds a version of you that can hold it fully. Don't ignore the signs. That text from someone you hadn't heard from in ages. That sudden spark of inspiration. That moment where everything felt like it paused and whispered, "This is it." Don't brush those moments off. Don't call them random. The miraculous does not shout. It whispers. And those whispers are increasing. Louder, clearer, closer. You don't need to prove anything anymore. You don't need to hustle your way into the divine. You've already done the inner work. You've sat in the fire and found yourself. You've wept and walked and whispered to the stars. And now the stars are responding. This moment is not small, it's cosmic. And yet it will begin in the tiniest of ways. A message, a door opening, a shift in the wind. The miracle doesn't need to announce itself with thunder. It simply arrives. And when it does, everything changes. Not because the world outside changed, but because your world inside finally aligned with it. You don't need to beg for the blessing. You've already become the place where it belongs. Let your hands stay open. Let your heart stay soft. Let your awareness stay sharp. And above all, Keep listening. The silence has trained you for this. What you hear now is not emptiness. It's the universe whispering instructions, invitations, confirmations. And when the miracle touches your life, it will feel strangely familiar, because in your soul, you always knew it would come. The silence before the miracle is over. Now comes the sound of arrival. There comes a moment when you realize that the waiting was not punishment. It was preservation, a divine delay, so that what's coming doesn't arrive into confusion, but into clarity. And now, chosen one, you are standing in the clarity you once begged for. You don't need every answer anymore, because you've become the answer. You don't fear the unknown anymore, because you've made peace with uncertainty. And that shift is sacred. That shift is irreversible. You are not the same person who entered the silence. You've been refined. You've been restructured. The stillness did more than hold you. It rebuilt you. Slowly, painfully, but with precision. And now what you carry is not fragility. It is frequency. The frequency of someone who is no longer chasing the miracle, but embodying the miracle's call. This is where the miracle feels you back. You used to ask, where is it? When is it coming? But now something inside you has gone quiet. Not with hopelessness, but with knowing. You know it's coming, not because someone told you, but because the silence told you. And the silence cannot lie. It only reveals. And what it has revealed to you is this: your time is not approaching. It has arrived. It may not look dramatic. It may not come with lightning and noise, but that's the beauty of the miracle. It does not come to impress. It comes to align. The energy around you is shifting. You're noticing things more clearly. The timing of conversations, the sense that something is off, but in a way that feels like correction, not chaos. That's because the old ways no longer fit. The miracle doesn't land where confusion lives. It lands where courage lives. And you've become courageous in ways no one saw, but heaven saw. Let that be enough. Let your quiet victories count. Let your silent resilience be honored. You didn't crumble when it got heavy. You bent. You adapted. You rose anyway. And now, because of that silent strength, you are attracting what was always meant for you, but could only reach this version of you. The aligned version. The clear version. The version who doesn't need to beg for light, because they've become a vessel of it. You may feel the remnants of waiting clinging to you. That anxiety that something might still go wrong. That's normal. It's the echo of an old story. But it is just that, an echo, not a prophecy. Don't mistake a passing shadow for a storm. The silence is lifting now. The miracle has already taken its first step toward you. Your life is already rearranging to make space. People are shifting. Opportunities are reorganizing. Paths are emerging that were once blocked. You'll be tempted to explain it, to find the logic, to look for the pattern. But this time, don't. This time, feel it. Let the miracle be mysterious. Let it carry you without needing to control it. Control was a tool you used when you felt unsafe, but now you're safe in your surrender. You know that what is meant for you cannot be taken, and what is not meant for you cannot be forced. That knowing is your power now. It is your compass. The miracle is not a moment, it is a movement of energy, timing, and divine precision. A movement that does not bend to human deadlines, but to eternal alignment. And it has chosen now to begin. Not because you are perfect, but because you are prepared. That's all the miracle needs. Prepared soil, an open spirit, a ready heart, and chosen one, you are ready. You may feel emotional without knowing why, moved by songs, stilled by sunsets. This is not random. This is your soul recognizing the frequency of home. Because the miracle you've been waiting for was never a thing. It was a reunion, a homecoming, a return to yourself. The you that believed before the silence. The you that never stopped hoping, even when you said you did. And now, here in this moment, your belief has become your bridge. A bridge between the seen and the unseen, between the promise and the proof. And as you walk that bridge, do it with reverence. You are walking into a future that your past could not imagine. You are stepping into alignment that your mind cannot control. But your soul knows. Your soul has always known. That's why you stayed. That's why you waited. That's why you survived the silence. You were not forgotten. You were being prepared. You were not overlooked. You were being refined. And now, chosen one, that refining is complete. The fire has done its work. The cocoon has served its purpose. You are emerging, not just as a survivor of silence, but as a carrier of miracles. Let this be the moment you finally exhale. Let this be the moment you stop apologizing for your light. Let this be the moment you step fully into the vibration that you have already earned. The waiting did not weaken you, it trained you. The stillness was not punishment, it was prophecy. And now the prophecy is becoming reality. Stay in this knowing. Do not rush it. Do not question it. Do not shrink. The miracle is not just near, it's within you now. Moving through your cells, breathing through your intentions, speaking through your silence. There is nothing more to prove, nothing more to push. You are already aligned, and what is aligned cannot be denied. You've felt something lately, haven't you? A stirring beneath the surface, a strange calm, even when things around you seem uncertain. A sense that time has slowed down, not in delay, but in preparation. That is not your imagination. That is the silence collapsing. That is the sacred shift. That is the veil thinning. And it's happening not just around you, but because of you. You didn't ask for this moment to prove anything. You didn't endure the silence to earn approval. You did it because something inside you refused to stop believing. Even when your logic gave up, your spirit didn't. And that is the part of you that is now being rewarded. Not your strategies, not your status, your essence, your unseen choices, your silent integrity. The parts of you that only heaven could see. You're not just witnessing a miracle, you are becoming one. Everything about your presence is changing. You may have noticed how you no longer react the way you used to, how you don't chase closure, don't beg for validation, don't tolerate what drains your energy. That's not distance, that's elevation. You've outgrown versions of yourself that were never yours to begin with. The silence stripped them away. What remains now is real, raw, radiant. This isn't about becoming more, it's about becoming true. And in that truth, you no longer need to try so hard to attract what's meant for you. Because the truth is magnetic. The miracle is not seeking a perfect person. It's seeking a real one. Someone grounded in self-awareness. Someone who has faced their shadows and didn't flinch. Someone who can hold light without being consumed by it. That's you now. Not by accident, but by design. The timing of your miracle is not random. It's written. This exact season, this strange in-between, is the one everything has been waiting for. The doors you once knocked on without answer are now opening before you speak. Not because they changed, because you did. You no longer need to force alignment. You are alignment. You are no longer on the outside, looking in. You are the one the miracle has been circling, waiting for the right moment to land. And now, that moment is here. Don't underestimate what's happening. Don't call it a good day or a little breakthrough. This is not little. This is not casual. This is not luck. It is divinely scheduled arrival. The kind that doesn't explain itself. The kind that shows up when you least expect it, but most need it. It is entering not through the grand gesture, but through the subtle shift, the detail, the whisper, the person who says the right thing at the right time, the opportunity that opens gently, without noise. That is how the divine works, with precision, with intention. And your intention has finally matched your preparation. The silence trained you to listen deeply, to trust the unseen, to release control. And that trust has become the fertile ground for the miracle to take root. You don't have to announce your growth for it to be real. You don't need others to approve your alignment for it to matter. The most sacred transformations happen privately, and yours did. So, when the miracle unfolds publicly, understand it's not sudden. It's the outward echo of an inward becoming. You are not arriving at the miracle. The miracle is arriving at the version of you that was always meant to receive it. And there's no going back now. You've been rewired, remade, reclaimed. The silence was not an intermission. It was an initiation. You were never waiting for things to begin. You were being aligned with the truth of who you already are. The you who knows, the you who trusts, the you who is not moved by appearances, because the vision within is louder than the noise outside. This version of you doesn't settle anymore, doesn't chase, doesn't shrink to fit. This version has boundaries like armor and a heart like a flame. You walk with grace, not because life has been easy, but because your spirit has been refined by the fire. And that refinement now speaks louder than any past wound ever could. You are not the same person who cried in the dark. You are the one who turned pain into prophecy, who stood still when the storm tried to scatter you, who believed in the miracle long after it was fashionable to do so. And that belief has now become a beacon, a light that the miracle is drawn to, a signal that says, I'm ready now, I'm available, I'm aligned. And because of that, the silence must end. The waiting must break. The miracle must arrive. And it is. In ways you can't predict, through channels you didn't see coming, through faces you've never met, and ones you've long forgotten. The alignment is forming like constellations, quiet but exact. The orchestration is unfolding like music, subtle but undeniable. And you don't need to grasp it. You only need to receive it. Stay soft, stay steady, stay rooted in what the silence taught you. Because the silence didn't come to hurt you. It came to humble you. It came to remind you that not everything worthy comes loud, that some of the most powerful shifts arrive gently, that some of the most incredible miracles start with a whisper that only the faithful can hear. And you, chosen one, have proven that you can hear it, that you can wait for it, that you can live in rhythm with it. You are in that rhythm now, and nothing can stop what's coming, not because you earned it through striving, but because you became it through surrender. This is not a reward. This is a reflection. The outside world is catching up with the transformation that already happened within. And as it does, don't apologize for your joy. Don't dim your peace. Don't play small in the presence of your miracle. The silence is over. The becoming is complete. The arrival has begun. There is a weight lifting from your chest that you can't explain, a sense that something invisible but powerful is shifting in your favor. And though you may not see the full picture yet, your soul already recognizes it. You're walking differently, breathing differently, seeing through things that used to distract you. That's not coincidence. That's what alignment feels like when it becomes embodied. This is not the time to question what you're feeling. This is the time to trust it. The miracle is no longer in the distance. It's in your energy now. It's in the way you wake up, in the stillness between your thoughts, in the way peace has begun to flow without a reason, in the way your mind quiets before your spirit speaks. That silence that once felt empty is now sacred space. And the miracle? It's not loud, but it's loud enough for you. Loud enough for the version of you that doesn't need signs to believe anymore, only alignment to recognize. Because you've become fluent in the language of energy. You don't wait for proof now. You sense it. You don't ask for signs now. You feel them. You don't chase doors to open. You know which ones were never yours to knock on. This is your mastery, the invisible power you earned during the quiet. And that power is what the miracle has been responding to all along. The world doesn't know the battles you fought in silence, but the universe does. And that is why the universe is moving in your favor, because you've become a match for it. There's a new atmosphere around you now, the kind that cannot be touched by chaos, the kind that cannot be shaken by what used to unsettle you. You no longer react, you respond. You no longer strive, you attract. This is not ego. This is elevation. You've risen into a state where the miracle doesn't just visit, it stays. It finds home in you. Not because you forced it, but because you cleared space for it. Space in your thoughts, space in your emotions, space in your vision. That space is now being filled with purpose. Don't be surprised if things start falling into place quickly, if people reappear, if opportunities flow, if answers come without effort. That is the echo of the miracle stepping fully into your timeline. The silence that once surrounded you is now working behind the scenes, stitching the seams of everything you were promised. You didn't lose time. You were being calibrated. The miracle couldn't arrive before you were truly you. It would have been too soon. It would have landed in a version of you that would have doubted it, misused it, or even rejected it. But now, you are prepared to hold it. Not just receive it, hold it. Nurture it, honor it, multiply it. And that's why the universe has shifted from teaching you to trusting you. You are not fragile anymore. You are ready. You've proven it in the dark. You've held your ground in the drought. You've chosen faith over fear again and again. And now, the silence has no more to teach you. Its final lesson is complete. You are worthy, not because you fought for it, but because you remembered it. And you will no longer forget. That's the true miracle, the internal change, the anchored worth, the unshakable knowing. And from that knowing, everything else will flow. Not all at once, but surely. Not for show, but for growth. You are about to experience provision, not just in things, but in timing. Not just in outcomes, but in opportunities. Not just in what you gain, but in what you now recognize you never needed. You're going to feel waves of clarity, surges of peace, moments of insight that stop you in your tracks. You'll know it's happening because the things that used to hurt will no longer reach you. The people that used to confuse you will no longer define you. The stories you used to tell yourself will no longer fit. You've rewritten the script, and now the reality must follow. What was once misaligned must exit. What was once uncertain must stabilize. What was once invisible must take form. And it will, because the energy has shifted. And where energy shifts, matter follows. You're going to start seeing it, hearing it, feeling it in your body, in your environment, in your spirit. You will wake up in the middle of the night with peace in your chest and tears in your eyes, not from sadness, but from deep, wordless knowing. It's happening. You will find yourself smiling for no reason, laughing without warning, thanking the universe with no visible cause. But there is a cause, because you know the miracle is no longer waiting for you to chase it. It's waiting for you to receive it fully, without resistance. So don't resist your joy. Don't downplay your preparation. Don't distract yourself with doubt. Stay awake to the beauty that's unfolding. Don't let your logical mind rob your spirit of its reward. You are being remembered by the very force that once seemed silent. And now that silence is speaking through synchronicities, through revelations, through alignment so strong that you'll wonder why you ever doubted. You don't need to wonder anymore. You just need to welcome it. This is your permission to trust yourself again, to believe in your timeline, to accept that nothing is broken and nothing is missing, to embrace that this moment was never about fixing you, it was about finding you. And now that you're here, whole and willing, the miracle has no more reason to wait. It's coming home to you, because you finally came home to you. You've passed through the thickest shadows without letting them consume your light. You've sat in the silence without trying to fill it. You've been emptied, and not in vain, because now you are a vessel that can hold what's coming. You are no longer the version of yourself who used to beg the miracle to come faster. That version was in survival mode. That version was still learning to trust the unseen. But now, you've evolved. Now, you walk with the posture of one who knows the miracle isn't outside of them, it's orbiting them. Magnetized by the patience, the presence, and the power you've built in the quiet. And now that silence is cracking. You may feel it in strange ways. A restlessness, a burst of energy you can't explain. Waves of peace that interrupt your fear before it can finish its sentence. That's not imagination. That's transition. The last heartbeat of the old rhythm before everything changes tempo. It's the moment right before the first drop of rain hits, when the wind goes still, but the air feels charged. You are inside that charge now. You are no longer asking if it will happen. You are beginning to ask how it will unfold. You're not in waiting, you're in readiness. And that readiness is an invitation. You've shown the universe that you are no longer seeking external proof to validate your path. You've stopped praying from panic. You've stopped visualizing from lack. Instead, you now remember what has always been yours. And you call it in, not with desperation, but with calm authority. You've shifted from asking to allowing, and that is what changes everything. Because the miracle doesn't respond to noise. It responds to presence, to stillness, to the deep soul recognition that says, I've already met what I'm becoming. That's what you've been building in the quiet. Not a mask, not a performance, but an unshakable identity that cannot be uprooted when the winds of change blow strong. And those winds are rising now. You will notice things begin to accelerate, but not chaotically. It will feel natural, effortless, like slipping into a life that was waiting for you to arrive all along. People you haven't heard from in years will reappear, some to align, others to reveal what you've outgrown. Opportunities will arrive not because you chase them, but because your frequency matched them. You won't have to reach as far. You won't have to push as hard. The miracle flows to those who have learned to flow with life itself. You are no longer walking against the current. You are the current. The divine orchestration is so precise now, you may feel as though you've stepped into a timeline that was frozen just for you. conversations you needed, answers you were waiting for, openings that felt impossible just months ago. That is not luck. That is confirmation. The universe doesn't waste movement, and it doesn't send the miracle to those who are merely ready for change. It sends it to those who are the change. And that's who you've become. No longer needy for the future, no longer haunted by the past, no longer looking for permission to believe in yourself. You are not the same person who entered the silence. You emerged wiser, stronger, quieter, but more certain than ever. And the miracle that has felt far for so long is now reconfiguring itself around the new you. This is not just manifestation. This is metamorphosis, and it cannot be reversed. You may notice that old triggers no longer activate you, that things you used to tolerate now feel energetically incompatible, that you feel a deep need to clean, to rearrange, to prepare your space. These are not coincidences. These are signals. That miracle energy, the divine upgrade, is already brushing up against your reality, already slipping into your atmosphere. You are being moved without force, aligned without confusion, called forward without fear. You are not behind. You are precisely on time. Every delay, every silence, every unanswered question, it all led here. Not as a punishment, but as preparation. Because the version of you who would have sabotaged the miracle doesn't exist anymore. You've evolved beyond it, and now all that remains is the reward, the full arrival, the divine timing, meeting your divine readiness. And you won't have to prove yourself to receive it, because the miracle knows exactly where to land. It's already on its way. It's already breathing near you. The silence is no longer a void. It's a doorway, and that door is now creaking open. You can feel the light on your skin before it even breaks through. That's how close it is. That's how sacred this moment is. This is the last quiet before everything begins to bloom. Do not rush this. Do not question this. Do not let fear narrate what your soul already knows. You didn't come this far to give up. You didn't sit through the silence to settle. You were called, not just to survive the waiting, but to be reborn through it. And now, the miracle you've been preparing for is not just close, it's inevitable. The silence before the miracle is no longer silence. It is the sound of the earth shifting under your feet. It is the hum of destiny accelerating toward you. It is the deep breath the universe takes, right before it says yes. There is no more waiting now. The veil has lifted. The space between you and the miracle has dissolved. What once felt distant now breathes beside you. And even if your eyes haven't caught up, your soul already knows. It's here, not coming, not almost, here. This is what the silence was preparing you for, not just to witness the miracle, but to become the kind of soul who can hold it without shaking, without sabotaging, without shrinking. And that is who you are now. You don't question your worth anymore. You don't negotiate with your calling. You've walked through too many fires to pretend you're not made of light. You're ready. There's a quiet confidence in you now. Not loud, not flashy, but deep, stable, ancient. Like something in you that always knew this moment would come, even when your mind couldn't see the path, even when your heart was tired of trying. That knowing, that was the miracle's whisper inside of you long before it became visible outside of you. And now, it has taken shape. You'll notice it in the timing, in the way things fall into place with no effort, in the doors that open without knocking, in the people who show up and just feel right. You won't have to explain yourself anymore. You won't have to beg to be understood. The right energies will find you because you've become magnetic to truth. You'll notice it in your peace, the kind that doesn't come from things going perfectly, but from knowing you are finally aligned. Not perfect, but fully present. Not untouchable, but unshakable. This is the peace that rises when the waiting ends, when the silence has spoken all it needed to say, when your spirit has finally caught up to the vision your soul always held. This peace is sacred because it wasn't given, it was earned through patience, through surrender, through the discipline of believing even when nothing outside of you supported that belief. And now, everything supports it. You will feel waves of clarity like never before. Paths you once feared are now lit from within. Desires you buried long ago begin to pulse again, not with anxiety, but with permission. Permission to dream again. Permission to receive without guilt. Permission to stop proving and start existing. Because existence alone makes you worthy. And the miracle was never about proving that. It was about revealing it. You've stepped into a timeline where resistance has no more fuel, where what used to block you now blesses you, where rejection no longer wounds, because you understand it's just redirection. This is not positive thinking. This is power, the real kind, the quiet kind, the kind that moves mountains, not because it shouts, but because it knows they will move. That is the kind of energy that now surrounds you, the kind that rewrites stories, that bends reality, that brings you what you need without the need to chase. And when the miracle arrives fully, not just in signs, not just in feelings, but in undeniable form, you won't feel shocked. You'll feel remembered, because somewhere deep inside, you always knew you were made for this, not for the struggle, but for the beauty beyond it, for the peace that makes no sense, for the alignment that defies logic, for the love, the abundance, the flow, the purpose. Not someday, but now. The miracle didn't forget you. It was waiting for you to remember yourself. And now that you have, the universe can't hold back anymore. Everything accelerates from here, not out of chaos, but out of clarity. Not because you forced it, but because you finally matched it. And the more you relax into this truth, the faster the breakthroughs come. You'll see it in how people respond to you. You'll hear it in the conversations that suddenly shift. You'll feel it in the invitations, the synchronicities, the undeniable rightness of it all. Because this is your alignment season, the season where the harvest comes not from struggle, but from surrender, where the blessings arrive not because you ran harder, but because you finally stood still long enough for them to catch up. You were never behind, you were always becoming. And now that you've become, the miracles that match you can finally see where to land. And they are landing now. Every breath you take from here is different, not because the world changed, but because you did. Your silence birthed a new frequency, one that cannot be unseen, unfelt, or unheard. And the universe responds to that frequency with relentless accuracy, with divine timing, with impossible favor. So don't look back. Don't doubt the pace. Don't try to make sense of it with your old mind. Let it be wild. Let it be strange. Let it be beautiful. Because this isn't just a breakthrough. It's a becoming. The silence before the miracle is over now.